All right, solving proportions. This, to me, is going to be like, whoa, that totally makes sense, and I'm going to use this every time now. Some of you are going to be like, why didn't you tell me that before?
I was quiz tomorrow, yesterday.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the second star there. If A divided by B is equal to C divided by D, or if it's a proportion A to B is equal to C to D, then A times D equals B times C. So, in an algebraic world, if you wanted to move something from one side to the other, you would do the opposite operation. So you don't have to write this, but just let me show you what I'm talking about. If I wanted to undo division by B, I would multiply by B, and those would cancel. On this side, I'd have times B. If I wanted to undo the D, I would multiply by D. Those would cancel, and I'd have to multiply by D on this side. So that's why I have A times D equals B times C. That's the algebra of it. You don't have to remember that. Just know that if so, that's what we just did.
Yeah, we just did cross.
Okay. All right. So, what is this making us do? It is telling us we need to cross multiply and divide. That is the steps we're going to do. That is the easy route to solve proportions. What do I mean by solving a proportion? If you have 3 of the values, you need to find the 4th. So if we use 2 Grand Rapids Public School for 10 kids to go geocaching. Sorry, Grand Rapids Public School. Why did I say that? We use 2 GPS, because I can't read, global positioning systems, for 10 kids to go geocaching during exploratory. How many GPSs are needed for 90 kids? So you'd have 2 GPS per 10 kids is equal to how many question mark GPS for 90 kids? So we have a missing value here. We before would say, well, how can you go from 10 to 90? Well, it's times 9, so you do 2 times 9. But in this method, we're going to cross multiply. So the diagonal, you're going to multiply the diagonal. My diagonal in this case is 2 and 90. So you're going to do 2 times 90. Cross multiply. That equals 180. Then the second step is to divide. So 2 times 90 divided by this leftover number, which is 10. So 180 divided by 10 is
90? 18, not 90.
18. So we need a total of 18 GPS. I told you were going to say that. You are solving a proportion by cross multiplying and dividing. Okay, that works because what we said up top, A times D equals B times C. So if it was 2 times 90 equals 10 times X for our missing GPS, we would multiply and then divide by 10, and you'd get your X all by itself. Okay, so that's the algebra piece of it. All right? What you need to learn from today is multiply on the diagonal, divide by whatever's left. Does not matter. This example, the diagonal went the way it did. Another example, you might have a different blank filled in. So, example 2. Cross multiply. So what numbers am I going to multiply? 7 times 22.
So you do whichever way has 2 numbers.
Whichever way the diagonal has 2 numbers. And you're going to divide by whatever's left.
4. So it's...
So 7 times 22 is 154. 154 divided by 4.
Is 7, no.
60. At least 154 divided
40
by 4 equals
43.
38.5.
That's what I got.
Did you just do that?
Oh.
What were you thinking? Because he wanted to look like he knows what.
He doesn't.
But he was
When we did tables, if you've got all these numbers here, 4 and 7, and let's see, 22 is way over here, you can still use this, right? You can still cross multiply across, any diagonal and divide by what's left, okay? You don't need to. Just when you have a table, you can still use this, just because the middle ones, just take them out and put the numbers next to each other then.